right, it looks like we have very low attendance. That's fine. I'll go through my spiel. I'll answer your questions as you have them, and we'll post this recording in the hopes that the people that weren't able to attend can watch the video. There isn't a ton of stuff really to discuss. I'm just pulling up the course myself here. Bear with me. So course content, we are into module 1 for our second week in there. So that's things are sort of business as usual this week. We've already done the first discussion post, hopefully, and the second discussion post will be due this Friday coming up. So I'm just pulling up our syllabus. I'm just struggling with the cramped space on my screen at the moment. So if we look through the syllabus, we'll see we're in module 1. Hopefully you've done the academic integrity module, you've submitted it, I've reviewed it, and you've got it perfect, 1 out of 1, and you've done the course requirements quiz, which might be 22 questions, I forget, 22 to 24 questions, and you've got that perfect, in which case you should be able to see the quiz now. The quiz is due on this coming Friday at 11:59 p.m. And hopefully you've done the initial post, as I said, in the discussion 1, and the second post is due on Friday coming up. So got a couple things due on Friday. If you haven't done the academic integrity module, or you haven't done the course requirements quiz, you can still do it. You can do it as late as you want in the course. It will take me longer to get around to marking it the longer you go in the course, because I'll be checking for it less and less. But don't worry if for whatever reason you weren't able to get those things in, get them in now. Don't wait until Friday afternoon in the hopes that I will have a chance to mark them, and your quiz is due at 11:59 that night. So get on those, get them in front of me to mark. Unfortunately for me, and by extension for you, if you haven't done the course requirements quiz, it is submitted as a late submission, which means that I have to manually verify it, whereas it was automatically marked for those people that got it in before Friday at 11:59 yesterday. So in any case, what I'm trying to say is, please do not leave it to the last moment before the quiz is due, because I will have no sympathy if you hand that in at 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night and you miss the quiz and you miss the 1.5% or whatever the quiz is worth. And the quiz would be worth 2%, the 2% that the quiz is worth. The other thing that's worth mentioning is that best 5 out of 6 quizzes count. So if you're busy with other things, or you just don't feel like doing what I'm asking you to do, bear with me. I've got my my IT administrator wanting me to do things with him at this point without any sort of scheduled, So yeah, if you want to put it off and not do this quiz at all, that's fine. Please do the reading, because it's going to come up in the exam ultimately. So please do the reading, but if you don't want to hand in the quiz, you've still got 5 to go. So I'm not sure how to get rid of this. There we go. The discussion, hopefully you read through the directions with the discussion post. It's right at the bottom. There are clear instructions there. I'm looking for 500 to 700 words. I'm looking for 3 or more cited and listed references. So if you just list your references and you don't cite them in the body of your text, that's not adequate. I need to be able to see exactly what source you used and what source you're referring to when you make a statement. So please do that. We will mark the first discussion promptly so that you have a chance to see your feedback before you have to do the second discussion. So ideally by Monday or Tuesday in a couple of weeks, when discussion 2 post 1 is due, you will already have feedback. We certainly try and do that so that people can improve on their performance from the previous one. We will give a lot of feedback on discussion 1, a little less on 2, and by 3 and 4, generally they're just marked because we've said the same thing over and over again at that point. Yeah, please review feedback. The same thing I would like to say is about the course requirements. You're going to know whether you got perfect or not on that, hopefully. But the academic integrity module, the screenshot, probably about 20% of people send me a screenshot that doesn't have their name on it. I'm looking for the screenshot to include the name and the mark. I'm not looking for someone to Photoshop their name onto the screenshot. I'm looking for it to look an awful lot like the example that I gave in the submission area. So if you're using your phone to do it and you're sending me a screenshot from your phone, that's great, but make sure that your name is shown at the top in that screenshot. So if you cannot see the quiz at this point, that means that, and you think you've handed in and done everything right, that means that something's going on with either your academic integrity module, you don't have a 1 out of 1, or your course requirements quiz isn't perfect either. So look at your grade and see what's going on with that. It's also worthwhile while you're looking in your My Grades to look at the rubric if you haven't already for the discussion, and it'll tell you exactly what the expectations are and how we go about grading those. Just pulling up the chat. If you have questions, either jump in, there's only a few of us here, or type a question into the chat and I will happily deal with that. I don't think there's a ton else to discuss. This course kind of starts off full blast just because we don't have a whole lot of extra weeks. So you've already done, your module 1 is going to look a lot like your module 2 and so forth. It's going to be a couple weeks each module, and just follow in the syllabus what's required. It's laid out exactly what and when everything is due. We will get the technical checkup assignment 1 technical checkup, the one that's worth 3%. It'll be made available at some point this week. So we're happy to do that. Get that for you too. That's not an onerous amount. It's mostly, as we said last week or Monday in the office hours, it's mostly to make sure that you're posting your content in the right place and to protect your privacy. Does anyone have any questions?
For the group for the thread reply, do you also have to cite three sources as well?
Yes, please. Yeah, okay. The requirements are exactly the same on both the initial post and the response to appear. Exactly the same. If you guys don't have further questions, feel free to get on with your Saturday. Thank you very much for attending. If you do have questions, I'll hang around for another 5 minutes or so, and if nothing's developed by then, I'll just sign off. But thank you for attending, and good luck this week. Like I said, you're into week 2 of module 1. I think everything's sort of business as usual at this point. Thank you.